Now, I'm sure all of you like to vacation. I am just like you. One of my favorite things to do is to cruise. I got started on that when I was pretty young, and I didn't care where I went. I didn't care how long the cruise was. I just cared if I went and if I could get a really good deal. And I had a friend, Lisa, who we had decided that we wanted to try cruising together and take a vacation. We found a really good price on a 7-day cruise that left out of LA. And we booked it. We were excited. It was in our price range. It was a couple of months out, so we could get a really good deal. And the plans were on. We were excited, looking for excursions that we were going to go on and everything. And you will not believe what happened. We had paid for our cruise and, of course, not got the traveling insurance because that cost extra money when the Rodney King event happened. This caused the LA riots, if you're all familiar with that. And we were scared to death. We had invested for us a lot of money on this trip. If we didn't go, we wouldn't get our money back, and we weren't quite sure what would happen. We discussed it. It was going to be about a week and a half after the riots had started, and we thought, hey, we're just pulling into the airport. The bus should pick us up. It should be safe. It's during the day. And Lisa was very familiar because she grew up in California. So we were really excited about it. We got on the plane, flew down to LA. The ship came and sent people over to pick us up, take us on the bus. No incident, nothing, no worries. We got on the ship and it was fabulous. It was a 7-day cruise and we had the time of our life. Now on cruising, they always want to get you off the ship extremely early. There's no breakfast. There's nothing on the morning. You're like the golden person when you get on the ship. But that last day, you are like the hired help and they want you off quick. So you disembark and get off that ship pretty darn early and they take you over. And generally you get dumped at the airport to sit and wait, usually 5 to 8 hours before your flight's out. Well, same thing with this cruise, except Lisa was very familiar with California, and she said, you know what? I know my way around. We can avoid the area where the riots are taking place. Let me take you and show you some fun things. And I thought, well, that's great. That sounds good to me because I hate sitting at an airport doing nothing. And I also was an entertainer and always was on the lookout for new magic tricks. And LA happened to have some really good magic shops. And she said they're in a good location. So when we got off the ship, we went right in, rented a car, we took off. Now, our flight wasn't going to leave until 5 o'clock that day, so we went everywhere. We had a great time, saw all kinds of things. Never was there a time that we were even worried or saw anything that we'd seen on the news about the Rodney King riots. Well, Lisa's that take charge kind of person, which I love. When I vacation, I just want to sit back and have fun. She's got an itinerary. She knows exactly what time. She knows where we're going, how much time it's going to take to get back. We'd had a great time, and she says, Gail, it's time we head back. We've got to turn the car in. We've got exactly 45 minutes. That'll give us time to get to the car rental place, turn the car in, take the shuttle over to the airport, and check in. I'm like, okay, great. You know, it had been a wonderful day. We filled the car up with gas to take it back. Now, I did forget to tell you a little detail. I had tried to buy magic that day, and I was carrying my credit cards in an eelskin purse. Now, at that time, I didn't realize that it caused problems with that magnetic reader. And when I went to the magic store, I bought about $1,000, just under $1,000 of magic merchandise. And that's not very much in the magic world, by the way. And the clerk had ran my card and it wouldn't go through, and he kept running it and running it. Finally, he hand entered the numbers in and went through. Didn't think anything of it. Lisa just traveled with cash. She didn't have a credit card. So she had enough money for what we needed to do that day. And I was the one that rented the car, turned it back in. And as we pulled in and got out of the car, we walked in the office to finish the paperwork. And we looked up at the clock, and it said 5:45, and we were like, oh no. Oh, we just panicked. We hurried, signed the paperwork. We thought maybe our flight's been delayed. We hurried and took the shuttle over, got there, we're running down, and we see on the big screen that our flight has left. We are sick. Lisa is totally freaked out because what happened, we forgot to change our clocks because of the time change from the ship back to LA, and we had totally missed our flight. I'm like, okay, it's all right. I've heard that you can just get another flight. It's not that big a deal. And I said, it's okay. I've got my credit card. Usually there's a small fee because we didn't use our ticket. We just pay an extra fee and can get the next flight. So we walk up to the ticket counter, have all our luggage and everything. And we said, is there another flight going into Salt Lake tonight? He says, no. The last flight out of LAX left 30 minutes ago. There are no more flights in or out of LAX tonight because of the riots that have been taking place. In fact, this entire airport is going to be shutting down at 6 o'clock. In 15 minutes? Are you kidding us? Well, Lisa loses it. She's like, oh, no, I have no money. I'm like, we'll find a hotel. It's not that big a deal. We'll go to the kiosk and we'll start calling. Well, we started calling the hotels that we knew. No one was going to come and pick us up. No one. We'd already turned the car in. We're stuck at the airport. Well, we call and we call and we call. Now I'm getting a little panicked because they just shut the lights off in the terminal we were in. It's like dark. There's no lights. So we frantically start every single number we can find. We're calling. It's now been about 45 minutes that we're on the phone trying to get through to someone. It's dark outside. It is panic time. People are walking by and say, you need to get out of here. It is not safe to be in the airport. Finally, we come across a number and I call and a gentleman answers the phone. He has a heavy Asian accent, but he is willing to come pick us up. He tells us where we need to be. Relief. And the amount on the room, it'll be no problem. So we stand there and we wait and we wait and we wait. It's a half hour after we talk to him. We're standing in the dark. We're inside the building. There's nobody around, but we're just by the door ready to leave as soon as that van pulls up. The only van that pulls up is a white, it looks like a service van that has been modified to take people in. There's no writing on the outside of the van. It's just a white van. I'm panicking inside. I'm like, oh my heck. But I want out of here. I want to be in a safe place. He comes around, takes our luggage, puts it in the back. We get in. It's just a hollowed out van with places to sit and a couple of windows. We get in. He shuts the door. He drives off. Lisa and I look at each other. Our eyes are getting bigger and bigger. It's pitch black outside. He starts driving. I have no idea where we're going. And as we're driving, we see burned out buildings where there used to be businesses. Burned out, one standing. It has black spray painted on the building. We smell smoke. We hear sirens everywhere. We don't even dare say a word. I'm thinking, is this my last day on earth? Are we going to get killed? Well, we drive and we drive, and the sirens are going, the burned out buildings. Finally, we get a little past it. There's not so many destroyed buildings, and we pull into a motel. I'm like, oh, hallelujah. We pull in, and he drops us right at the front of the office. We walk in. He tries to swipe my card. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, I had another one, and he swiped that, and it did work. We were able to get in the room, and we're just like, oh, hallelujah. He hands us our keys, tells us where the room is. We grab our luggage, and we're on the top floor of the 2-level motel. We're dragging all our stuff up there, and it doesn't really look great, but we are just exhausted. We had been on the go since about 5 o'clock that morning. We hadn't stopped to eat during the day because we just figured, we'd eat at the airport. Well, we get up to our room. We walk in, and it's horrible. The carpet is dirty and has holes in it. The room is tattered and worn. We just set our luggage down, hurry and lock the door and put the chain on. The door doesn't even shut all the way. It vibrates a little bit, jiggles back and forth. We throw our suitcases in front of the door. And I'm like, I'm just going to go into the bathroom. I walk in there. There's big holes in the wall. You can see into the next motel room. It's filthy. Lisa starts to cry, and I'm like, it's okay. She goes, and we haven't eaten all day. I said, it's okay. We'll just call and have somebody deliver a pizza. We start looking around. There's not even a phone in this entire room. So we hurry and move the stuff. I said, I know I saw a payphone down in the lobby. Let's run back down. So we move the stuff, lock the door, run down the stairs. We get to the entrance of the lobby, and there's a great big chain on the door. The lights are off. There's a sign that says, owned by blacks. And the white van isn't there. We turn around and look. There is not a car in the entire parking lot. We are the only people staying at this motel. We run up the stairs. We run in. We lock the door. We put the chain on. We pull a table over, shove it in front of the door, stack all of our suitcases and everything on it. I grab my first aid kit because the curtains don't stay together and there's holes in the curtains. I try to cover up the curtains with my Band-Aids and tape it so nobody can peek in. I'm like, let's just turn the lights out so nobody will know that we're even in here and just be really quiet. She says, I'm so tired, but this place is filthy. I said, let's pull the covers back. Let's see if the sheets are clean. We pull it back, and luckily the sheets were clean. I said, we'll just lay in our clothes. Don't touch anything, and we'll just try to sleep. We turned the lights out, and we laid there. It seemed like an eternity. We could hear sirens and police sirens. In fact, one time it sounded like there was a whole group of police officers in our parking lot. We're just praying. I don't know when we finally went to sleep, but when we woke up the next morning and it was like 4:30 in the morning, we peeked out. We were still alive, still no cars in the parking lot. We knew that we had talked to the man that had picked us up and said we needed to be back at the airport at 6 a.m. And he said he would take us. There'd be no problem. So it was now 5 o'clock. We saw the van was there. We grabbed our suitcases. We ran down. He was out there. He took our luggage, took us to the airport. We got our flight, and off we went. Never travel without insurance, or you could end up like me and Lisa during the LA riots.